My name is Archibald Chesterfield III. I'm a YouTube entertainer and celebrity, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Hello, Paul Pluta channel doing paid watch reviews. And this is actually a bit of a follow-up review here. And a while ago, I did a review for a guy who had a Patek 5054 in white gold, the G version. And he comes back to me, "Hi Arch, Dave from Canada here again. A couple of months ago you reviewed my Patek Philippe 5054G. You never really discussed whether or not this was a true Grail watch. And can a 35mm Patek can a 35mm Patek truly be a fuck off Grail watch? I've sent you 25 fuck off US dollars for your opinion." So that's a very interesting question, and I gotta tell you, of course the 5054 can be a Grail watch. In fact, let's just back this truck up here. This particular model of Patek came out in the late 90s. And it's where Patek started to introduce something called useful complications. So in the late 90s, that's when the annual calendar came out. Then they, because before this, if you wanted a complicated Patek, you needed to get a fucking perpetual calendar. You really had to go whole hog. They didn't have this new term, useful complications. And the 5054, I gotta tell you honestly, in my honest opinion, David, that is a fuck off Patek Philippe. Now, this watch here, it may not be to everyone's genre, but let's just back the truck up. This is basically the classic officer's wristwatch. It very much reminds me of a pocket watch. It's got a back that opens up. You can see the movement. It's very much like an early pocket watch early wristwatch, because basically they were pocket watches converted to wrist. So this is done. The style is done by Patek. Officer's watch, we're talking, you know, this is because World War I is where men, it was considered a bit sissy to have a wristwatch. So World War I, they suddenly realized, hey, it's very handy looking at your wrist to see the time instead of pulling out a pocket watch. So that's where it sort of that's where it gained flavor. So the 5054, what do I think of it as a Grail? It's an absolutely outstanding watch. Now, let me say this. He asked the question, can a 35mm Patek truly be a fuck off Grail watch? Now, hang on. Let's back the truck up. I've had a Patek Calatrava. I had a 3919. It was 33 mils. And I gotta tell you, that was an absolutely beautiful watch. It had the manual wind 215 movement. And I still think the 3919 Patek, to a lot of people, is a Grail watch. It's a very much so a Grail watch. So you're asking the question, can a 35? Well, that's bigger. And this piece here has complications. It's really well done. It's really, really well done. The 5054 has got really interesting dial layout. It's got power reserve, it's got date, and it's also got moon phase, which is really, really cool. Really, really cool. The other thing about the 5054 you may not realize is that it uses the Patek 240 movement. Now, Patek themselves they've got a few standard movements. They've They've got their manual wind movement. The very famous manual wind movement is the 215. They've got the 240 movement, which sort of came out, as a answer for that 240 movement is used in perpetual calendars. It's used in my world time. It's fantastic. And they've also got the 324 movement, which is used in my Calatrava had the 324. A lot of annual calendars have the 324. The new world time chronograph has a 324 based movement. So, these are the basic movements. Now, not to put the 324 movement down or the 215 down, but the 240 movement with the micro rotor, it's considered one of their really high-end type movements. Nothing wrong with the 324 movement. It's a fantastic movement as well, but the 240 movement is considered a notch up. Okay, you talk to Patek aficionados and they will say this to you. So this particular model, the 5054G, uses that fantastic movement, the 240 movement, as a base. This watch itself here, it is fucking amazing. This is a fucking amazing wristwatch. I think it's really, really cool. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. See, you got to remember this is an ultimate dress watch, and they are slightly smaller. They are. Patek has been a very conservative company. The original Calatrava that came out, the reference 96, it was 30 mils. 30 mils. They had a jumbo version of the Calatrava, and it was 35 mil. So, to put it into perspective, your 35 mil 5054, that's not a problem. That's a good size. That's a really good size. I don't think it's an issue at all. I don't think there's a problem at all there. It's this is a really cool wristwatch. I just went on to Chrono 24. I can't see one less than $20,000 US. Fuck, that's expensive. That's expensive. That's really fucking expensive for a used watch. So, is this watch a grail? Look, a grail is someone's personal opinion, okay? A grail watch is a watch that somebody, strives to achieve. And is this worthy of being a grail? Well, let me just rephrase that, because to some people, an Omega Speedmaster Man on the Moon is a grail. An Explorer 2 is a grail. There are other people who say, well, the grail watch is a Patek Philippe perpetual calendar, which is, hundreds of thousands of dollars. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. I think the 5054 definitely is a grail. I mean, if I had that wristwatch there, I'd love it to death. It's a really, really beautiful piece. And my own honest opinion on this piece here, it's worthy. This is a very, very desirable wristwatch. Any Patek is a grail. Any Patek Philippe is a grail. But this is extra special because not only is it a classic gentleman's dress watch, it's using the 240 movement, which is, in my opinion, one of their... That's a fucking high-end movement. That's used in the world time and the perpetual calendar. It also has complications. It's got a moon phase on it, for fuck's sake. How many fucking wristwatches, I mean, have a moon phase. I mean, Rolex only has a couple of references with moon phase. And it's very, very cool piece. No question whatsoever. There's nothing, no borderline here. That is a super fuck off wristwatch. I would love one in my collection. Yeah, I'd definitely. They're just expensive. They're really fucking dear. And I think your problem, David, is reading between the lines. Maybe you got it as a bargain. You should look at this as a gift horse for what it is. You're very lucky to have acquired this piece. This is definitely a grail. There's no questions of it at all. Is this... you never really discussed whether or not this was a true grail. Of course, I just thought it was the obvious, the bleeding obvious. Any Patek is a grail. And this particular model, I really fucking like. I mean, it's an officer's watch. The back, these weren't fucking cheap. These were always fucking expensive. They did a similar version in steel, on a steel bracelet. I think I prefer the 5054, to be honest with you, in gold. I think that's the sweet spot for this. And man, you're a lucky fucker to have that watch. That's a very beautiful watch. I hope you really respect, and that is a super cool watch. It's super, super cool. I would love one, put it that way. I would really love one. It's so cool. It's a very, very cool watch. So by all means, that is a worthy, and that's a fucking gorgeous Patek. It's not just a fucking nice watch. It's fucking gorgeous. And I think it's a great 35 mils fine. That's not a problem. This is Patek. They're very conservative. See, the funny thing is, you look at the sizing there. My World Time's 37 mil. The model after mine was a 5110, was a 5130. It went to 39.5. Then the model after that again, which is the 5230, it actually went back to 38.5. So they're not necessarily getting bigger. 35 mils on this sort of dress watch. Nothing. Dress watches are understated. They're discreet. This just screams good taste. That's what it is. It's a Patek Philippe. If you're not happy with what it says, maybe get a gold Submariner. That is the complete opposite of this watch. Not to put the gold Submariner down. I love my gold Submariner, but I've come back to the Patek side, and I love my Patek Philippe. I love my World Time, and this 5054 you've got, it's beautiful. It's really a fucking legendary Patek, and you're really lucky to have it. I'm Archie Luxury. Tell me what you fuckers think of that. Nice one, Archie. Great vid.
We specialize in the repair of Rolex and Patek Philippe watches. We've been doing the same thing for more than 25 years. We have Rolex technicians certified by Rolex who actually used to work for the company for many years, like if we're doing the work on the factory. We completely disassemble the watch and we put it to work like brand new condition. When you get a pre-owned watch, it's like if you're getting a brand new unit. The only difference is the money.